introduce Elise Diambra. She's going to be talking about what the potential benefits of healthier meals for those experiencing homelessness.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Today I will be presenting about the nutrition within food insecure households and individuals. Good afternoon. I want you to take a moment and think about the last healthy, well-balanced meal you had. Maybe it was a salad, some protein, or perhaps you ran out of time this morning to eat and you can already feel your stomach growling. Regardless of what your answer was to my question, I hope it's safe to assume that not everyone in this room could give the same answer. As the Feeding America website states, 1 in 7 children in Vermont are food insecure. This means that there are 129 students just within our school who go home and can't find anything substantial to eat. Okay. I recently met with one of the Academy School nurses, Abby Sweet, who reached out to me after my 5-minute presentation with curiosity about my project. She immediately wanted to help and offer her knowledge. Abby explained to me that she goes to Hope frequently and picks up food to send home with students from the academy, in hopes that they have some form of food for weekends, dinners, vacations, lawn breaks, until a student can come back to school and utilize the free lunch. Just from this one picture, we can see that there's a lack of high-quality protein sources such as meat, fish, yogurt. For children especially, protein is a vital part of their nutrition. A source by Abbott Nutrition I found explains that protein plays an essential role in many bodily functions, including recovery and repair of tissue in the muscles, skin, organs, blood, hair, and nails. As Abby was pulling from the box of goods, she explained that she had wished she could do more for these individuals by offering better snacks and being able to go to Hope more frequently. I agreed with her almost instantly after she finished her thoughts and started expressing how heartbreaking all of this really is. As you can see, the food that Abby collected from Hope consisted of mac and cheese, juice pouches, ramen, and other small snacky items. While these items provided calories and for a short period of time fill you up, they often lack essential nutrients that growing children need for development. A source by Abbott Nutrition News explained how protein is extremely vital for children as they grow and will aid tissue repair. Essentially, children who don't get enough protein regularly may experience health issues including fatigue, poor concentration, slow bone growth, and joint pain. Potentially, these health issues can lead to very expensive hospital visits. Okay. I'd like to direct your attention to this slide. This slide shows a picture of something you would typically see being served in a government housing situation. As you can see, there's an assortment of things kind of thrown all over the plate. During the CBS interview, a nutritionist by the name of Dr. Joan Slage Blake expressed just how by the photo she can't name a source of protein. She refers to it as unrecognizable. This is what gets fed to children. This is what gets fed to them every day. People receiving care in this way need more effort from people in positions like this. The Northeast Kingdom Community Action, or NECA, estimates that upwards of 60 to 70% of children in the kingdom qualify for free school lunch. This is far above the national average and shows how deeply rooted the economic challenge is here. Children especially deserve pure nutrition and food that keeps them energized. The Child Nutrition Report highlighted an alarming rise in childhood obesity worldwide driven by unhealthy food environments. In 2025, the prevalence of overweight children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 overtook underweight children and adolescents for the first time, marking a significant shift in global malnutrition patterns. The number of overweight children and adolescents ages 5 to 19 has doubled since the 2000s. Okay. And now I would like to talk about how important it is to nourish your body. I recently found a nutritionist by the name of Claire who described the body's need for nutrition as follows. The body runs on nutrients meaning micronutrients like vitamins, minerals, and again with macronutrients like carbs, fats, and proteins. These nutrients and micronutrients are vital to your health and overall well-being. According to the National Library of Medicine, nutrition is one of the most important modifiable factors that can be targeted to promote health and reduce disease risk throughout your lifespan. By implementing a more pure and protein-dense nutrition plan, it can potentially help lead to significant improvements within our community, like the community's health, economic stability, and educational outcomes. So, how come so many people within our community today struggle with food insecurity? What has to start the cycle? The food insecurity cycle is a rigorous and extremely hard cycle to get out of. Commonly, a lack of money due to factors like low wages, unemployment, or high living costs can begin this cycle of food insecurity. These factors are large, and the cost of living is high. All across America, people are hungry. If we want to do anything about this, everyone needs to unite and stand as a whole against the insecurities related to food. Two factors that could be affecting this are the deep-rooted systems of inequality and extreme food waste. Both contribute to the hunger cycle and the depths of food insecurity. A few weeks ago, I met with Chef Hale, a well-known academy teacher. During this interview, Chef said these words: "There's just simply not enough hands." Those words spoke to me and made me realize that at the end of the day, nutritious food or not, there needs to be more helping hands. In America, 108 billion pounds of safe food go to waste every year, meaning billions of pounds of food gets wasted and thrown away instead of being utilized and donated to the families in need. The Housing Needs website explains that hunger is frequently a system of poverty, which people of color experience more than their white counterparts. To fight hunger, we must fight the core cause of it, inequality, and stop taking/wasting food that could be utilized elsewhere. In America, the waste of food is unreasonable. If every organization in St. J donated its extra, not used food at the end of the week to meal sites or people in the community, there would be an extreme growth within our community in just a few weeks. As you can see, globally, food insecurity is rapidly growing. As this issue grows larger and more people go hungry, our community's population and households are ultimately malnourished and in the face of serious and mental well-being issues. This graph is a representation of how many households reported to be food insecure at least one time in the last 5 years, showing that in the last year, 51% of households reported difficulties involving food. In order to really grasp the adaptation of these numbers, this is how the United States Department of Agriculture measures food insecure households. When a household says that they're experiencing high food security, this means that the household has no problems or anxiety about consistently accessing adequate food. If a household says that they're experiencing marginal food security, this means that the household is experiencing problems at times or anxiety about accessing adequate food, but the quality, variety, or quantity of their food intake was not substantially reduced or affected by outside factors. For low food security, households reduce the quality, variety, and desirability of their diets, but the quantity of the food intake and normal eating patterns were not substantially disrupted. Now, for very low food security households, at times during the year, we'll experience eating patterns of one or more household members disrupted and food intake reduced because of the household lacking money or other resources. Food insecurity doesn't just mean not having enough food. It also means not having enough nutritious food. According to the USDA, 2024, nearly 33.8 million people in the U.S. live in a food insecure household. Many of those households and families rely on low-cost processed items that fill your stomach but not your body. This is the moment when the crisis becomes invisible because it seems as if you're solving the issue, feeding the hungry, but in reality, it's prolonging the issue itself. Okay. Vermont is a great place to step up and get involved. Just within the St. Johnsbury community, there are opportunities to donate food and supplies to families in need, with the hope of improving the overall well-being of the community. The Kingdom Community Service, KCS, is based out of the Grace United Methodist Church in St. J, which is a very reliable and accessible way to donate or receive care. Another way to get involved would be to donate or volunteer at the St. John's Senior Meal Site. This meal site is also extremely important because seniors often get forgotten about in this sense. People frequently assume that they don't need any help because they're older, more mature, or should have it figured out. This is completely upside down. Sometimes seniors need our help or assistance more than anyone. Seniors, they often have medical bills and lack a good form of income, which makes it even harder to fuel their bodies with what they need. Specifically, the Feeding America website states that 1.2 million low-income veterans use SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits are federal funds that help low-income households buy groceries. Along with that, 1 in 9 working-age veterans are currently experiencing food insecurities. The Johns Hopkins University submitted statistical evidence explaining how the meals that are provided at shelters and meal sites, government-owned properties, often give out, I'm so sorry, that's not, there needs to be a comprehensive nutritional plan tailored to these individuals in need. A comprehensive nutritional plan consists of whole grain products, fish, and other good meats, water, fruit, all that good stuff. A nutritional video I watched by Dr. Thomas Paccio titled Nutrition and Homelessness found that the types of food that are most suitable for situations like this ideally consist of whole grain products like bread, fresh veggies, fruits, nuts, yogurts, and anything with low sodium or low carbohydrates. Now, of course, something like a loaf of bread should not be donated just because of how delicate it is, but something like bottled water or nuts can be safely packaged and donated without any harm being done to the product. Ideally, donation boxes would look something like this, including various different nutrients. From the participatory soup kitchen menu redesign, I found that the dietary fiber intake was a key gap within most meals that were provided. These meals consisted of 18.11 grams, which is 58.42% of the daily recommended value. The recommended value is 25 grams for women and 38 grams for men. Also, the meals were notably low in vitamin E, providing only 3.9% of the daily recommended value, set at 13 milligrams for men and only 11 for women. Due to the lack of all these essential dietary requirements, major chronic health issues were prevalent. Health issues like depressive disorder, cardiac disease, and many more. The reporting shown from the same menu redesign source shows that the participants are reporting high rates of depressive disorder, 50.9%, and cardiovascular disease, 49.1%. By reading every statistic this source gave me, my body filled with immense levels of empathy. Every single person who surrounds us deserves a balanced and nutritious diet. More issues that can come from food insecure households are drugs and alcohol substance abuse issues, ultimately leading to a more damaged health in the future. So much mental and physical despair comes from an unbalanced diet. As much as these issues might look small, the overall damage of poor nutrition consumption is far more detrimental to someone's lifelong health. As health is the #1 priority, there are small factors that can keep you healthy, like utilizing government house properties, meal sites surrounding your community, and meal drop-offs. This worldwide crisis requires action from both communities and the systematic levels. With intentions to feed the large percentage of the population that faces food insecurity every day, if people are financially stable and able to donate, more people should. Additionally, people should donate with good intentions and prioritize fresh produce, whole grains, and quality protein instead of products with high sodium levels and low amounts of protein. When there are more members of the public advocating for people in need, more people will eventually receive the care and help that they need. For my outcome, I decided to create a poster featuring easy, fun, and nutritious recipes with instructions on the back. I hung a few dozen up around the campus and the community. Originally, I thought for my outcome to host a community meal, but I unfortunately ran out of time in the planning process. Although I didn't go with my original idea, this poster allows for different opportunities. For one, this poster allows families to use the food and produce that they potentially receive from surrounding meal sites. Thank you for listening, and here are my sources.
Thank you. Questions for Elise?
Like at like White's, you can buy the boxes of the packaged nuts that sometimes they include like cranberries or other dried fruits. Those are really good to donate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to include that with the part where I opened about my Chef Hale interview because he touched a little bit on that. He said that the school takes what they don't use and they give it to farms surrounding the community instead of meal sites and something like that. I did not put them on social media, but I could. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think that more conversations with Tinker would be good for that. Yeah. A 100%, I would be open to looking into that. Yeah, the planning process just totally ran out from under me, but yeah, for sure.
You said that the average family only gets 3% of the E nutrient. What does that like do specifically for the body, and like what foods have that?
Like nutrients?
The E nutrients is what.
Oh, like vitamin E. Well, wait, I'm sorry, what was the question?
What foods have vitamin E, and what does it specifically do for the body?
So think of it like if you want your skin to clear up, or if your skin's been dry or something like that, you want to incorporate more vitamin E into your meals so that it can help your skin help itself like that. Build skin cells.
You did a good job acknowledging that there are like systemic barriers to food security and that individual action can make a difference in
Mhm.
food insecurity. How do you think about the balance between
Yeah, I think donating is a very powerful thing, but I think sometimes it is also not maybe as helpful as some other things. I think the meal sites are a really good way because it's mostly fresh produce that they give to you, and that's another reason why I liked this outcome a little bit better, because you could take what you receive from that and like actually make something with it. But yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool.